Well, I just got off a Facebook Live, but I figured I would come over here to YouTube because some of you guys have been so faithful that I just hate not to do a quick YouTube Live update. So I'm sitting in front of my fire and the house is quiet, the family's asleep, and I really started thinking about what's going to happen over this next week when it comes to the Patrick Frazee case and what can we expect over this next week. So it's 10:45 right now here in what's up, Miss J is for Justice? It's 10:45 here in Colorado. And so in less than an hour and 15 minutes we will be 7 days away from the start of the Patrick Frazee trial. Now, the first, I think, week of the trial will be jury selection. So I need to put a couple of disclaimers out there. If you want to get out of jury duty, so if you live here in Teller County, and a lot of my YouTubers are from all over, more on Facebook or locals, if you want to get out of jury duty, then here's what you do. You walk in with a Woodland Park Underground shirt on. You will not even have to say anything. They will ask you to leave, and you will not be asked back for jury duty. If you don't have a Woodland Park Underground shirt and you're local, message me. I can make that happen. 2, check this out. If you don't have a Woodland Park Underground shirt and you want to get out of jury duty, they're going to ask you, are you on social media? Do you follow Dad with the Phone? Do you follow the Woodland Park Underground? If you answer yes to any one of those questions, you may be kicked off jury duty. I'm just giving you some outs. So, if you want to be on the jury and you get summons for jury duty, then you need to keep your mouth shut about who you follow on social media, because if you mention Dad with the Phone or the Woodland Park Underground, you're out. So that's one way to get off jury duty. Now, what's going to happen over this next week? I think we're going to see some more paperwork dropped. I think we're going to see some court decorum come out here pretty quickly from the judge. The judge was very clear that he was going to put out some new court decorum. Now, I talked about this on Facebook, so this is a recap for anyone who's been watching my Facebook, but I kind of hope they ban Twitter. I hope they ban all live reporting from inside the courtroom. So however they come out with that, if they means you can't text people, if you can't Twitter people, if you can't do live videos from the courtroom, this makes me happy, actually. I started thinking about this yesterday, and here's why it makes me happy. Because not one of those reporters, not one of them, can hold a candle with me when we're going off the cuff recap of the day, which means at every break I can walk out into the streets of Cripple Creek and do a recap video for you, and I believe my report will be more accurate, it will be more truthful, and it will be more straightforward than any other reporter in that room. And I can prove that to you. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. Here's how I know. Check this out. When they mentioned Dad with the Phone in the pretrial readiness conference, only one reporter had the balls to tweet it out. That's both literal and figuratively, actually. Sam from KOAA was the only one to tweet out anything about them mentioning Dad with the Phone. Now, he didn't mention the whole story. He just mentioned that the DA said, "I'm not media." That was his tweet, right? He He didn't even tag my Twitter handle, and don't you think I let him get away with that without telling him how I thought about it either? I freaking texted him and said, a little disappointed in you, buddy, and he apologized profusely. But I want you to hear something. The reason why they no other reporters did it wasn't because it didn't happen, wasn't because it wasn't a 5 or 10 minute conversation between the DA and the defense and the judge. It wasn't any of that. It wasn't because it was insignificant. It was because the other reporters in that room, they're intimidated. It's not because I'm threatening them, and it's not because I'm a physical threat or anything like that. It's because they are buying for views and clicks. All they need from you, they're not there to tell the truth. They're not there to report for they are there for views and clicks. They are there for advertising dollars. And if I'm there, I am there to tell the truth. I don't have advertisers with me. People, I mean, even Sam asked me, do you advertise, Michael, or do you have advertisers paying you? Oh, I have people paying, and I have people who support. But I am not deterred by whether I have support or advertisers or any of that. These guys can't utter a word without running it through their boss first. And so this is why they're intimidated. A couple of them aren't even worth the salt. Don't even listen. Listen to me. If you want to be a smart person, let me tell you, if you want to keep some of your intellectual price, don't even listen to KRDO. They are the worst of the worst. If you want to listen to a traditional news media, Sam is the best that is there in the room. I ain't telling you he's better than what Dad does. I'm telling, out of the traditional medias in the room, Sam's the best in the room. Ashley comes in a close second from KKTV, and then all the rest, they're gibberish. They're nonsense. You can even go read their tweets. They're pretty nonsense. They're pretty much regurgitations. So I'm giving you this info because if they ban Twitter, I got this on lockdown, folks. There are very few people that can listen to a conversation, listen to a discussion, hear a story told, and retain the information as I do. Just got that ability. I can't spell worth a shit. I can barely read. But if I have a conversation with someone, I have an ability to remember the details and the facts, and especially the stronger facts of the conversation. And so I'm pretty excited if they ban Twitter, because then at every break, at every little intervention, little intermission of court, I will be able to give you an accurate, credible report. So that's kind of just a quick, if they drop this stuff, drop the Twitters, if they don't let us have the Twitter. I don't know why my camera's not focusing though. My camera is definitely out of focus, probably because I just don't have no lights on. Anyway, what else could happen? I'm taking a 2-page from you and Shell 2 hours a night. What? I don't know what. Y'all must be having a different conversation. Jay's in here having a different conversation. It's all business from them. There's only one DWAP. It's all business for them. Exactly. Yeah, they're not in this for anything but the views. How to avoid jury duty, we went over. What else we got going on? I talked about this a little bit in Facebook too. The best thing Patrick can do is go to court today. Or go to court next week. The best thing he can do is not continue. I talked to a couple of criminal defense lawyers, and they're like, listen, the best thing anybody can do when they're in a criminal case, especially a complicated one like this, is to go to the very first trial date. Don't continue out. If you go to this first trial date, the DA is at a handicap. And if the DA's at a handicap, that means you're at the advantage. And so it is for Patrick's advantage to not continue this case. Now, in some cases, it's at the advantage of the defendant to draw the case out. Witnesses can disappear, evidence can get lost, all of this stuff. The problem is they ain't got a lot of that. They ain't got a lot of evidence to lose. The only thing, they have more evidence to find. The longer they could stay out of trial, in court, the more likely there's evidence that could come up. So for Patrick, he knows his best effort is to go to court now and to go to court quickly. And so with that being said, it's in Patrick's best interest to hit the trial date on the first date given. And so I anticipate that this is what they're moving forward towards. And so I don't think they're going to continue this trial. I actually don't think they're going to change the venue. Now, if they get to jury selection, let's go back to jury selection for a second, because that's what's going to happen first. Monday morning, starting in 7 days in 1 hour, 7 days in 1 hour will become Monday morning. And Monday morning on October 28th, they will start jury selection. I've already told you how to get out of the jury. If you don't want to be in the jury, all you got to do, I'm telling you, all you have to do is put on one of these shirts. If you walk into the courtroom with a Woodland Park Underground shirt on, you will not have to serve on jury duty. I'm just telling you. It's a fact. It's like a proven fact. It's 99.9% sure. So if you're just joining and you're from Teller County and you got called for jury duty, and I'm going to tell you right now, multiple people on my Facebook have messaged me and said, Michael, I'm called for jury duty on the 29th. I'm called for jury duty on the 28th. I'm called for jury duty on November 4th. I'm called for jury duty on this. I'm like, listen. If you put this out in the public on this channel, you will not be a juror. And I know this for a fact. And so doing good, Roman. Thanks for asking. I'm doing really good, actually. I had a great day today. I'm going to have a good week. We're getting prepared for the following 3 weeks, not this next week. I'm going fishing. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go fishing this week. And let's see what else I got going on. Not much. Got a couple of gigs, but nothing too crazy. And then we head into trial. Why not El Paso County, part of the Judicial 4th District? Yeah, well, El Paso County, Patrick would get an unfair advantage because his brother works for CPSD, Colorado Springs CSPD, Colorado Springs Police Department. No, because the crime was committed in Teller County, and for one thing, it's a judicial jurisdictional kind of thing. If they're gonna move this case, then they'll probably move this case to Durango, Colorado. It's still in the 4th Judicial District, but it's 5.5 hours away, 4.5 hours away or something. And it's somewhere that they have moved cases before. I don't think they're going to move this case. I think what's going to end up happening is, well, I should say this. I don't think they're going to move this case unless it benefits Patrick. Basically, if my suspicions are correct and 99.9% of Teller County watches Dad with the phone, they're not going to find a jury that doesn't watch Dad with the phone, and so they're going to have to move the case. You know what I'm saying? But if there is a slim fact that there are some people out there that don't have social media and that don't watch Dad with the phone and don't watch, the Woodland Park Underground. Look, I got 16,000 followers. 10,000 of those followers are in Teller County, on the Woodland Park Underground. And so the idea that they're going to find people who haven't heard about this case in Teller County, trust me, Trust me when I tell you this. If people register to vote, they're online, okay? They're looking online. And I changed the election this last year, 2 years ago. They tried to get this crazy mayor, Val Carr, elected, and there was no way I was allowing that. And so we did a social media campaign against freaking Val Carr, and he didn't get elected, trust me. And so I know that people who are voters are also on social media. And so I just don't see how they can be on social media in Teller County, voters in Teller County, and not be underground followers. You're either here's the deal. You're either an underground follower or you're a hater. And so, you're either a dad with a phone follower or you're a hater. Oh, by the way, some of my haters got buried today. Rest in peace. God bless your soul. Uh, you don't have real haters until you have like whole Facebook pages set up against you. Well, I have a couple of Facebook pages that people have set up. I haven't set them up. Other people have set them up to hate me. And it turns out a couple of them got, rest in peace, God bless their soul. They got buried today. No longer to be on Facebook. They disappear, vanish, gone with the wind. Rest your soul. Bless you. Rest in peace. But there's very few people, when it comes to this small community that are involved. So if you're a registered voter, you're involved. And if you're involved in voting and online, then you most likely are involved in some sort of social media. And if you're involved in social media at all in Teller County, I own social media in Teller County. It's just the bottom line. I'm not being cocky. I'm not being arrogant. I'm not being any of those things. They have tried to put me in jail for my social media. They have tried to gag order me for my social media. And so there ain't nobody else in Teller County getting gag orders. They're trying to gag order. God bless the judge. Judge says no gag order on dad. People ask why I would be put under a gag order. Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, because we talk too much. But that's not anything new, right? I mean, I've been talking too much since I was a kid. So they ain't telling me nothing new there. They try to put me under a gag order because we probably got some information that's not very beneficial for Patrick. Let's put it that way. And so there's some interviews we have done with people that have talked about that new Patrick, that new Kelsey. There are people that we have done interviews with to divulge information that some of us didn't know. There are things that have happened, the Sonic video, the Nash Ranch, the shout out to Jays for Justice, because that was where that hookup came from, to the Nash Ranch. So there are things that we've done when it comes to this case that they're not happy with because they're trying to hide things. They're trying to bury. They don't have a great case. They dump 10,000 pages of evidence on the defense with less than 10 days to go to trial. It's because they're trying to stall. It's because they're trying to get, somebody said that the Scott guy, I haven't watched the video, but he talked about this, I guess. But this is a tactic, and this is what I had heard from other criminal defense attorneys. But also because if there's anything in that evidence that is actually good for Patrick, there's a chance the defense is going to find it. And if the defense finds it, there's a chance that the DA won't be able to argue against it because they haven't had the proper time to argue against it. And so to go to trial this quick, to prepare your expert witnesses, to do your mock trials with your witnesses, to give them a little heads up on what's going to happen, this is going to be a hard case, very complicated case for the DA. And this all works in Patrick's advantage. This is to the advantage of the defense. And so this is why I don't think they're going to ask for a continuance. And if they don't ask for a continuance, they're going to go to trial, and the defense isn't going to, or the DA is not going to be ready. The burden of proof lies on the state, on the people. Patrick can sit back there with his lawyer, let them lay out all the information they have, and then they can go, oh, yeah, but what about this? And they can throw a curveball that the DA's not ready for, and the DA's going to be there twiddling their thumbs, looking like a mule sucking stove, oats through a stovepipe, and going, what do we do? And all of a sudden, the jury's going to go, what the hell? Reasonable doubt. Boom. It's reasonable doubt, folks. It's not 100% doubt. It's reasonable doubt. What's up, Gabriel? Did you say last night that the social worker that talked to PF while in jail was going to be able to testify? Yes, Mrs. Longmire, Mary Longmire will be able to testify. A little bit. You got to remember that some of those documents are sealed because they're about a minor. But Mrs. Longmire, yes, will be able to testify. We were trying to count witnesses. And so there's 255 listed witnesses. 255. Yolanda's in the house. Watch out. A nurse is in the house. Gotta watch out for the nurses. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Let's see if I answer no questions in my rant here. Y'all got any questions? Or are y'all just talking BS? I talked about why not El Paso. Thanks for reporting the truth. I'm taking a page from you and Shell 2 hours a night. I don't know what all that is. I don't understand why the American legal system would allow a plea deal knowing Kenny is guilty as hell. Welcome to a system written with feather and ink. I miss you too, Yolanda. Are there people like me and you couldn't get me to have a reasonable doubt with the evidence they have so far? Guess we'll just wait and see. Cheryl T, but you don't even know the evidence they have. You know some Twitters. That's the thing. Cheryl T, you only know the Twitters. You know the police reports. Police officers lie every day. Every day. Every day. They lie. And these police officers in this town are so damn corrupt. I know about 95% sure that they've lied about this case. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying that Patrick's innocent. I want you to listen very, very carefully. I don't think Patrick is innocent. But I think the corruptness inside the law enforcement department matches how guilty he is. And so when I know that for a fact about these officers. For a fact. I don't know for a fact that Patrick's a killer. I know he's involved. And I know that he definitely is guilty. But I'm not saying, listen, we found out there's a hitman involved. And so you gotta understand this. The evidence that we have was collected in such a shoddy way. I mean, the cops went into their house, into Kelsey's house, changed her computer passwords, but missed the blood. Missed the obvious that now all of a sudden it's obvious that things have been cleaned. That's what they're saying. This picture has obviously been wiped down. Well, if it was obviously wiped down and clean, what the hell was Christopher Adams doing inside Kelsey's house? Oh, he was changing computer passwords. This is incompetence. So sometimes it's not, do you honestly think they will be able to find an impartial jury in Teller County? No, I've explained this already, but It's probably going to blame me. They're probably going to blame dad with the phone when they have to move this trial. Probably try to send me a bill for having to move this trial because they're like, dad with the phone reaches too many people on Facebook. But they weren't looking for a murder at that point. Just saying. No, they were looking for. Listen, listen. Don't you even try to say they weren't looking for a murder. That's what they were telling the public. That's what they were telling you to hide from Patrick. Dude, they knew about the phone pings 2 days after missing persons report was made. They already knew. Gooding, Idaho. They knew Listen. Don't you believe they didn't think this thing was a murder from the second they opened their mouth right here at the Woodland Park Chamber? Kelsey wasn't on vacation. They were looking for a murderer the day that when they went there. You don't go change people's. Come on. Really? Don't be that ignorant. You don't go change people's passwords. You don't log into their Facebooks. You don't go through their house unless you're looking for. They knew. They knew. People in Idaho knew. A nurse in Idaho, a lawyer in Idaho knew. They knew. They knew. Come on. Missing. This is the problem right there. The second she was reported, they knew there was foul play. Absolutely knew there was a murder. They absolutely knew it. But they were too ignorant and too incompetent. If they didn't know it was a murder, then it was because of their incompetence. So we won't even call them corrupt. We'll just call them incompetent police. They need to get out of here. Chief Miles DeYoung needs to get the hell out of Woodland Park. Darren Tingerman, the city manager of Woodland Park, needs to fire his ass. They need to fire Chief Miles DeYoung. They need to clean shop over at the Woodland Park Police Department. They need to shut it down. Shut her down. Teller County is just as corrupt. They need to shut that shit down and let the state come in. But that's another story. But whatever. I hate when people are like, they weren't looking. When's the last time you ever heard a cop not looking for something? Broke tail light. Busted window. Dad with a phone. Go into someone's house, change their computer passwords, look through their house. Oh, yeah, but miss some blood. I mean, come on. Mom and brother had to come. That's incompetent police work. And then you know what sickens me? Is they take those investigators, basically run them out of Woodland Park. But because CBI has such a poor case against Patrick, CBI had to hire Christopher Adams. So he basically got run out of Woodland because of the incompetent work he did on this case, but that work was going to get thrown away if they just fired him. So CBI said, "Oh, we'll pick him up." And then if this case is successful, he may have a job. If this case falls because of the lack of evidence and the incompetence of the police, oh, these guys are that. He'll get dropped. He'll still be in his 90-day probation over at CBI, and he'll get run out of CBI. And so that's why Christopher Adams is now with CBI, because he got run out of here quick. And they said, well, we got to scoop him up over at CBI and protect him a little bit because he may not be, he screwed up, and we're going to have to figure this out. And if we don't hire him, then we've lost everything. If they let Christopher Adams just get fired here and not give him a job, oh, it would have been terrible. And so now they're trying to save face. But you guys are going to watch. The best part about it, you won't get to watch it, actually. Remember, I'll just get to report it to you. When those officers are up there bumbling over their testimonies, and I get to report that live, because they're not going to let us tweet. It'll be interesting. Yeah, but see, that's the difference. Like, this is the problem with police officers. They would more they're ready to beat the hell out of people on the side of the road for a busted tail light, or because they had a beer, or because they ran a stop sign or whatever. And when it comes to real people, are like, well, you call the cops the next time someone's breaking in your house. No, I wouldn't. I would not. I don't want to get shot. Someone's breaking in my house, I'm going to shoot somebody, then I'm going to call an ambulance. You know? Don't call the cops. Don't ever call the cops. Cops show up and shoot innocent people. It's happening all over the country. It happened in Fort Worth, Texas. It happened. I just saw a video today that was released by these cops busting into someone's house, choke an adolescent, handcuff them, then they don't have a warrant. They illegally. Do not ever call the cops. Don't do it. They will shoot your ass, or they will shoot innocent people. Don't do it. They're not there to protect you. They are not. They are not. They are there to control you. They are there for simple control. It is not protect and serve. It is control. It is control. It is control. But you say that too loud, they try to arrest you. They try to kill you. They try to lie about you. They try to gag you. This whole country has... There is no such thing as a blue life. There is no such thing. We all bleed red. We all bleed red. Red, white, and yellow. All precious in his sight. He didn't say nothing about blue lives. Jesus didn't say nothing about blue lives because they don't exist. This is a made-up thing. It's what's wrong with our country. It's the Roman Empire all over again. The Roman soldiers, it's Hitler. It's basically the Gestapo. It's Hitler. They just paint it red, white, and blue instead of just red and gold. So don't think that the police are there to protect you. They are there to control you. And in this situation, they are not trained for what happened. The Woodland Park PD have no training for what happened to Kelsey Barrett, and they are incompetent, and they messed up. And it cost one woman her life, and and one woman got off. Let's just look at the math here. One woman is gone. One woman got off. Another man might get off too. That's the worst part about it. And I do blame the cops. I do blame the police, because they knew. They knew. And they were incompetent. Let's say they weren't corrupt. Let's give them this. Let's say that they're good people, good family people. They're just not good at their jobs. And so now I'm just rambling. I'm out. Come on, take some focus, camera. Focus camera. There we go. This is why I'm here. Something happened. Something happened up the street.